Hey guys, do you work in emergency medicine? An absolutely crazy and intense environment where you see things every day that most people don't see once in their entire life? Are you feeling burned out, unappreciated, and like there's no one you can talk to about the things that you see every day and the struggles that you're having? Well, you're not alone. And I'm going to bring in a bunch of real professionals with real stories today that can relate to the stuff that you're seeing on a daily basis. I've struggled with burnout, I've struggled with discouragement, frustration many times, and I still struggle with it occasionally. My name's Aaron. I've been in emergency medicine for 15 years as an EMT, paramedic, and now working as an emergency medicine PA, and I'm the host of the Practical EMS podcast. We're going to bring in our guest today and have a great discussion that I hope you guys get some value from.
And I think it has to do with age too. You know, as we start getting, the older we get, the more we're like, oh, yeah. There's just some of that blind confidence that it's just going to be in your 20s and your 30s. And,
That's true. Yeah.
And there's nothing that you can undo that.
Yeah. I was doing RSI before we did it here. I was doing it on the airplane, because I flew a bunch. And so I'd been doing that for a while. But from then until now, over the last 15 years or so of doing that particular procedure, it still makes my hands sweat. Every time I do it, I get sweaty palms.
It's a scary procedure.
Because I'm like, oh, man, I'm taking this person's ability to breathe away. And man, got to get that tube. And there's so much pressure. And, when I first started out of it, like, yeah, let's do this.
Oh, yeah.
Let's vent this chest.
Well,
let's do this right.
There's nothing I have to do as a PA that makes me more stressed out or more nervous as having to RSI somebody an hour from the hospital. I mean, when it's you and there's no other paramedic on scene, there's no flight, whatever, and you've got to intubate this patient and the tube's all on you, or you got to crike them, and you're paralyzing them, there's nothing I have to do now that's more stressful than doing that, which I'm kind of grateful for, actually.
Well, the really stupid part was that when I first started, there were only two of us in the whole county. There were two paramedics.
Ooh.
One worked for his dad, and I worked for my father-in-law. And, we'd get out in the county and we were like, boo, boo, boo. It's like we did the job. I mean, we did it right. But, we were just too stupid to realize that this was
you guys
really
were cowboys. You were doing some sketchy shit.
We were.
Everything you hear today from myself and my guests is opinion only and doesn't represent any organizations or companies that any of us are affiliated with. The stories you hear have been modified to protect patient privacy, and any resemblance to real individuals is coincidental. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice nor used to diagnose any medical or healthcare conditions.
That pericardial centesis I did saved that guy's life.
Correct, right? Because, what were the options? Would be no airway.
Yeah.
Tell us that story.
Well, so he was a young guy. He'd been sick, and he was a painter, house painter, and he was painting a house, and he was, doing this stuff and passed out on the ladder and fell. And so we got to him, and he looked like having dog shit. And, he was pale and just, didn't look good. Neck veins were sticking out like this far. And I'm like, this is weird. He had no pressure. And instead of, I did every step that you were supposed to do, right? And so I listened to his heart, and it was going, it's like, I could barely hear it. And his blood pressure was like, I don't remember, it was like 40 over, 28, so his pulse pressure was like that close. And I went, well, this is obvious. This is, he's got pericardial effusion, or he's got a pericardial tamponade, is what I was thinking from the fall. Turned out that he had a pericardial effusion from this, he had been sick. And that caused him to pass out and fall. But so we didn't carry spinal needles on our cart or on our ambulance, but what we did carry were epinephrine with a cardiac needle in it. So they had cardiac needles because we used to do intracardiac epi.
What? That's like that Nicolas Cage.
That
Rock.
We didn't do it like this though. We didn't do it like
something.
Yeah, we didn't do it like this though. Like they did in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, no.
I didn't think that was based on anything.
I've got a story about that too if you want to hear it. But anyway.
Hey guys, if you're interested at all in using any of the First Form products that I use myself, I'll show you some links down below, but one product I highly recommend from First Form is their energy drinks. These things taste phenomenal. They're way better than the Celsiuses I've been drinking for a long time. You got to wait for them to ship to your house, but if you want to support a business that's not just Amazon and not just buying these things at, wherever store you buy them at, buy First Form energy drinks. They taste phenomenal. They're worth, waiting a couple days to get in the mail. They've got a ton of different flavors. You can find which one you like, but I drink one every afternoon to get that little bit of boost. It's the same caffeine as like a Celsius, but it tastes way better and there's 0 calories too. So check out the links below, guys, if you want, a great afternoon energy drink.
So what we did is my partner, we used to carry like 30 cc bacteriostatic water injection, right? So we had these bottles, and I told my partner, I said, empty that out, pull it out with a syringe, and so that we have something to put the blood in. And so what I did is I took those cardiac needles, and we used 2 of them, 2 syringes, but only 1 stick. And so what it'd do is I empty out the epi, I did my stick, got the, I went in like kind of, they would train us to go under the sternum, not, this way, would go under.
Whatever you say, I'm going to assume is correct.
And so you'd aim it to the shoulder and so on and so forth. And then I'd go in the skin and went under the notch right here. And so went in and started pulling back on that barrel of what was in, the epi was in. And as soon as I got blood, I just advanced it about that much more and filled that up, unscrewed it, screwed the other empty one off that my partner had just emptied, and drew out some more. And I think I ended up drawing, and then he would put it in one of those bottles. And I think I ended up pulling out 35 or 40 cc's of fluid off this guy's heart. And he went, I feel better. And, he got better. And we took him to the hospital. He got more better. And we took him to the hospital, and the ER doc went, "What? You did what?" So anyway, but, my physician advisor was like, "Hey, high five."
That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing that in the field these days.
Hey guys, I'm going to jump in here. That's the end of this episode. If you got any value out of this today, if it resonated with you, if it encouraged you, the only thing I ask is that you subscribe to the show, and if you leave a 5-star rating and review, that is super helpful. I don't make any money from the podcast, and it does cost money to produce, so it's really helpful when you guys can subscribe to the show. It helps encourage me and keeps me doing this. You can also go to practicalems.com and check out all the videos and links there. There's also an EKG course if you want to financially support the show, and it's a pretty top-notch EKG course if I do say so myself, so check it out there. You can also join my email list at practicalems.com and get notified of every time we release a new episode. So check it out there, guys, if you want to support the show. And thanks for checking this one out, and we'll see you on the next one.